Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing a very fun video. I'm going to be reacting to your hot takes when it comes to motherhood, marriage, womanhood, just being alive in today's society, and I'm so excited. I think it's gonna be a spicy, fun one. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and follow me on Instagram if you want to be a part of the next Q&A style video. That's where I get all of my questions and hot takes, in this case, from you guys. I have my greens. We are ready to go. I do want to thank Live It Up for sponsoring today's video. They have absolutely the best greens on the market. I really love the wild berry flavor. It gives it like a bit of a berry undertaste. If you're not super into the taste of greens, check this one out. I add a little bit of lemon juice too. Almost like a green lemonade type of vibe. Super yummy. It's made with organic vegetables. If you're looking for a way to get your greens in, I know a lot of us are busy moms, or maybe you're pregnant or nursing. Very important to get your greens in, get your vitamins in. This is so jam-packed with all the vitamins that you need. It's vegan, no sugar added, caffeine-free, soy-free. It's got a bunch of iron, zinc, copper, sodium, potassium. It also has probiotics, so it's basically everything you need. Start your day off on the right foot with Live It Up greens. You guys can get 15% off your first order with code VIN15. It'll be linked in the description. They have free shipping and a 30-day money-back guarantee. One single scoop a day supports your gut health, lessens bloating. It's designed by nutritionists. It's tested for quality and purity. Highly recommend you do this every day. I just feel so good and so much less bloated when I do drink my greens. So thank you so much, Live It Up. It'll be linked in the description. VIN15, 15% off your first order. Alrighty, let's jump in. I'm so excited. Some of you guys don't know what a hot take is, which is funny. I'll read some examples of that. Your spouse comes before your children. I do agree with this hot take. I think the order of priority, at least for me as a Christian, is God number one, my husband number two, and then my children are after that. After that comes extended family and friends. But I think keeping the hierarchy of that in my life as a Christian woman is so important. And when we do put God first, everything else kind of falls into line where it should be. When it comes to prioritizing our children, I think a lot of people, especially in the US, we can tend to get sort of carried away with making sure our children have the best experience at all times, when in reality, I think sometimes that can lead to failure in some areas. I think our children need to see a little bit of struggle, and they need to learn what it takes to work hard and to achieve things through working hard. And they also need to see that mom and dad have their own relationship and that the world does not revolve around the children. Now, of course, I only have one child and he's 9 months old, so I don't have a lot of experience, so please take everything I say in this video with a grain of salt. You kind of lose your friends who aren't in the same season as you, at least for me, this person is saying. That can definitely happen. I don't think all friends are meant to be forever. So there are seasons of life where you have a close friendship with this person, and then that may fade and it may completely end, or it may just kind of go up and down over the course of your life, and that's totally natural. I do think some friends who aren't at the maturity level to understand that you're going through a different life phase, that can be a hard pill to swallow for those types of friends. It's definitely a tough situation to go through, but you just have to realize that if you genuinely have a good connection with that person, you can still be friends. It may not be exactly the same as it was. You don't have the same capacity to, go out with them and see them all the time. But if you genuinely have a connection with that person, you can maintain a great friendship. I maintained a great friendship with almost all of my friends. As a full-time working mom, moms should stay home with baby rather than work full-time. I don't know what to say to this because I don't work outside of the home full-time, so I cannot say this is a good take or not. This is interesting though, that you do think that when it comes to people saying moms should work or moms shouldn't work, I don't think there's a right or a wrong. You have to really analyze the whole family and the whole picture and say, what is the best thing for this family? It's not going to be a one size fits all. So I don't know. For me personally, I do want to stay home. I do want to be the primary caregiver to my child. And I know that that is a blessing to be able to do that, because a lot of moms are not able to do that. They have to go to work, and it's not necessarily a choice. It's just something they're forced to do. So I would love if every mom out there got the choice to whether they want to work or not. The first year, just do whatever the baby asks for, because that's what they need. I don't agree with this. Again, my child is only 9 months old, but he is already at the stage where he's throwing a little bit of a tantrum when he doesn't get his way. And it's not because he needs that specific toy in that specific second. It's because we are all born with our sin nature, and that starts to come out in early childhood. And so I don't think we need to give in to every single cry and every single whine. He's starting to whine a lot, which is a very common thing that children do. So I disagree with this one. I think spouses should be able to unlock each other's phones. I agree with this one. I think it's very basic. It's a common courtesy, I would think. I don't think you should be going through your spouse's phone just for no reason. I think that is obviously a sign of a deeper issue that you should probably work through. But I do think you should have the ability to. Apparently, it's a hot take to not want extended family to kiss your baby. I think this totally depends on the baby's age and if the baby is immunocompromised. Obviously, when they're fresh out of the womb, you don't want people kissing your baby. I totally agree with that, and you need to communicate that clearly and enforce that boundary. However, I think, and I'm not in regards to this hot take, because I do agree with this when the baby's super young, I think we're kind of swinging the opposite way in society where moms, young moms, are starting to like block out their village and then complain that they don't have a village. So in order to have a village, you have to do things that are sometimes not what you want to do. Like in order to have a village, you have to also be the village, and you have to be inconvenienced sometimes. And sometimes that means having a visitor 2 weeks postpartum when you'd rather not. But that person who genuinely wants to see you and help you and be there for your baby, how can they do that if you don't let them in? Now, of course, there's a balance to this. I'm not saying to just be a complete pushover, but at the same time, you have to be inviting to people and realize that they are people too, and you're not, I don't know. I just feel like I've seen, especially on TikTok in the mom community, moms are like on their high horse and they're like, you have to do everything I say, otherwise you can't see the baby and you didn't check on me in pregnancy and blah, blah, blah. And I just think like, do we really have to be like that? Can we all just like be nice to each other and like invite people into our life? So I think there needs to be a better balance there. I have an amazing village. I have so many family members, and I was a more anxious first-time mom at the beginning, but I let them in even if sometimes I was uncomfortable. Like I would not even want anyone to hold my baby, but I kind of pushed myself and let them have him for a second so that they can feel included. And it's not all about me, it's also about them and my village. The man should be the provider in a marriage. So I'm gonna answer for myself. I agree with this for myself. Now, that's ironic because I make a really decent amount of money from social media. I also work part-time. However, my long-term goal for my family and my marriage is that my man is the sole provider. What that means for me is that even if I do want to work a little bit on the side, let's say continue YouTube and do it kind of more for fun instead of as a job like I'm doing right now, that money that I'm earning is not necessary to our family. So basically we can survive off of his income if we had to, and what I'm doing would be more for fun. Is that what it is right now? No, but the goal is to get there, and he literally just finished his last class for his software engineering. So that's really exciting, such a weight off of his chest. Going back to the question, every family is different. I do think in most traditional heterosexual relationships, I would think most people would say that is the goal. I do think we as women, though, we have to support our man and help them if needed to get to that point, because nowadays you probably do need a higher education of some sort to end up in that place. Or maybe they're an entrepreneur and they're building something from the ground up and you really have to be there to support them. Maybe it's you who's working the job to support them while they're building their business or while they're in medical school or while they're, pursuing that thing. It's not something that you snap your fingers and your man is making tons of money. Like, we do need to be there to support them. So for me, that would be the goal, but I know there are lots of boss babes out there who don't necessarily agree with that. So again, it's just, what does your family need? What's your vibe? What do you like to do as a woman? Do you want to work? Do you not want to work? So it's so variable. I can't say yes or no. Contraception is against God's will. Natural family planning is not. I do not agree with this. Contraception, I'm going to assume you mean the birth control pill. And natural family planning is where you just track your temperature and you know when you're ovulating, and you either avoid intimacy when you're ovulating or you use protection or something of that sort. Let's go to the premise. So the premise here is that you shouldn't prevent pregnancy. There are many ways you can prevent pregnancy. Natural family planning is basically saying we're not going to do it when I'm ovulating, or if we are, we're going to use a blocker to not get pregnant. With contraception, that blocker is just your body, because you're telling your body to not ovulate using the pill. People are under the impression that the birth control pill stops pregnancy once it happens, but that is not the case. What it does is it prevents ovulation. So it prevents the egg from ever being released. My eggs are not being released right now because I'm on birth control. So there's no fertilized egg that's being terminated because it's not even there. The sperm goes up, it has nowhere to go. It's not doing anything up there. So I don't think that's against God's will, because it's the same idea of just saying, we're not gonna do it tonight because I'm ovulating, or we're gonna do it but use protection. That's my understanding of it, and I don't agree with that take. Pumping is breastfeeding, and the fridge method won't kill your baby, lol. I don't know if anyone does anyone disagree that pumping is a form of breastfeeding? The fridge method is, I'm assuming she means the pitcher method, which is where you put all of your breast milk from the last like 2 days into a pitcher, you mix it all together, and then you pour it out into bottles or bags. I don't think anyone, from my knowledge, disagrees with that. Marriage is easy when you and your spouse are best friends. I think this is too vague, like it's too general of an answer. Yes, marriage is easier when you have a partner that you're obsessed with and that is your best friend. Inevitably, there will be times where marriage is hard. So I think this is too much of a blanket. Being a wife means sacrifice and putting everyone first before yourself. I disagree. I think as humans, any human that you are, whether you're a wife or not, we are called to serve others. That's what the Bible says. I'm a Christian, so that's where my lens is coming from. That applies whether you're a wife or not, and that also applies to husbands. So husbands are to serve their wife and put their wife before them. So in a perfect ideal world, the husband is serving the wife is serving the husband. Neither of them are lacking in anything, and life is beautiful. But of course, we live in a fallen world. None of us are perfect, so we often fall short. Yes, we are called to sacrifice for our children and sacrifice for our family, but that doesn't mean never putting yourself first, never doing anything for yourself. I think that can almost be used as a crutch of moms who fail to put themselves first, like fail to keep up with themselves, maybe physically, maybe emotionally. It's kind of like, oh, well, I'm a mom, so if I don't have myself together, like that's okay because I'm called to like literally never think about myself. I know this is the definition of a hot take because some Christians will disagree with me, but I think again, there's a balance of serving others, serving your family, and like literally you would be willing to die for them. But at the same time, you do have to take care of yourself, whether that's going to the gym or doing your hair or going to therapy or making sure you get quality sleep at night. Like we are called to be the best we can be and treat our body as a temple. So it's not an excuse to just kind of let all that responsibility fall to the wayside. Birth was not that painful. No epidural here. Girl, I can't comment. I've never had a natural birth. I've had a C-section, so I don't know what that's like. Motherhood is not the highest calling for all women. I agree. Of course, there are going to be women out there who are not called to motherhood. There are so many other things women can be called to do. Some women are nuns. Oh, this is a good one. The only moms who get a village are the moms who choose to work. Stay-at-home moms do it alone. I could not disagree more. I am a stay-at-home mom and I have an amazing village. One, I live close to family. That's a choice that AJ and I decided to make. We chose to stay here in our hometown because we knew family was so important to us. So that's number one. Number two, my family offered help and I also asked for help. So that reciprocal relationship is what allows me to have a village. So I disagree with this 100%. If you feel guilty for asking for help as a stay-at-home mom, that's something you have to get over. No one is out here with a clipboard going house to house and saying, oh, she's a stay-at-home mom, but her mom helped her today. She's a stay-at-home mom, but I saw her grandma came over and like helped her with the baby. That's not allowed. Like, who is going around judging stay-at-home moms? If you have people in your life who are judging you for that, like, cut them off. Like, what? Who cares? Ask for help, hire the help, do what you have to do. That's on us. I also think the village thing is so cultural. I think if you're born and raised, like multiple generations born and raised in the US, the village is less common, at least from what I've seen with my American friends, and especially on TV and movies. It's kind of like the norm to pick up and move away from your family once you get married. You move for work and you move for this or that reason. But the way my parents raised me, they like literally reinforced in my brain the importance of family, and we all live so close together. It's been like that my whole life, and just I cannot imagine moving away from them. So I do think it's cultural. It's just how you were raised. What's the norm in your extended family? Is it normal to be together at least a few times a week? Is it normal for your aunts and your grandmas to come and help the woman who just had a baby? Luckily in my family it is, but I know that's not the case for everyone. Not everyone has a family like that. But I want to encourage you, if you are a mom and you don't have a family like that, let's create that for our children, and let's create that for the generations below us. What a gift it would be to create this family, this lineage below you that is so interconnected, where the kids really think twice about moving away. There may be this amazing job that like you literally can't find anywhere else. In that case, like I totally get it. But unless there's like something so good elsewhere, like let's stick to our community, our family, or let's create that wherever we are so that the generations below us can have that like close-knit family. And family doesn't have to be blood, it can be friends, church community, but like let's really sink in to that. Allowing your partner to sleep/eat while you're in labor and freshly postpartum. So this is what I mean, like what is the hot take? Is it that you agree with that or that you disagree with that? I think it's kind of immature to expect your husband to suffer just because you're suffering. Like that's a very immature thought process. So yeah, during labor, I sent AJ home every single day. I was there for 7 days. I sent him home every single day. I said, go take a shower, go take a nap, like refresh, reset. You don't need to be suffering just because I am. And yeah, he was with me 22 out of the 24 hours of the day, but like he can go outside, like I'll be okay. Being a working mom is harder than being a stay-at-home mom. I've never been a working mom outside of the home. I cannot comment on this. Also, who cares? Why are we comparing suffering in a sense? Like both are hard in different ways. Why are we all comparing ourselves to each other? Like, I don't get it. Having a baby for the first time and deciding you are one and done is also okay. Yeah. Who says otherwise? I don't get it. I find looking at explicit content on your phone while you are married absolutely appalling. I agree. I do think that explicit content is not okay. It should not be normalized. And I think it's very damaging to women. It's damaging to men because women also struggle with viewing explicit content. It's not just a male issue. I think unfortunately it's been so normalized in our society with OnlyFans, and I think it's unfortunate. And all we can do is worry about ourselves, worry about our own family, our own husband, take it to God, and raise your children differently. Being a trad wife isn't a bad thing. Again, who is saying that? Like, I think there is this blow up, like the very small 1% of people who say you should not bake bread, you should not make dinner for your husband, you should, like, who is actually out there saying that? I think unfortunately with social media, it gets blown out of proportion. It can feel like the whole society is against, let's say, trad wives. But at the end of the day, like, who cares what other people are doing? I don't understand. People are quick to say red flag to their spouse's mistakes or weaknesses. I agree with this. I think a lot of the advice we see is just like, oh, break up with him. Like, I can't believe he would do that. When in reality, like, first of all, if you're married, that's not really something you should be advising. So when someone asks me for like relationship advice, I never just say like, oh, I can't believe he did that. Like, oh, what a loser. Like, oh, what, like, he's so rude. Like, why would he say that? I always remind the person to give that person the benefit of the doubt. First of all, that's your husband. Okay, this isn't someone who you just met a week ago. If that's the case, yes, we can be like more blunt and be like, it's not worth it, girl. If you have a friend in your life who's immediately like so dramatic about everything, that's a red flag. I think we need friends in our lives who are supporting of marriage, because we don't want someone yapping in our ear, divorce him, leave him, red flag. Like, that's so, that actually irks me a lot. Like, grow up. You're not perfect either. Someone said tips for being a clean/glowy girl. Girl, that's not a hot take. Breastfeeding sucks. It's not convenient or comfortable. Formula is okay if it makes you a better mom. I personally do think breastfeeding is very difficult, but some people think it's way easier than formula feeding. So this is one of those things where it's like to each their own. This is not a right or wrong. It's just a matter of preference. If you don't sleep in the same bed as your husband temporarily, you're not intimate. This is confusing, but as you guys know, I'm not currently sleeping in the same bed as my husband because I struggle with insomnia, if you've been watching. However, I'm making active efforts to get over that and to sleep in the same bed. So I don't think if it's like a blanket, like, oh, if you don't sleep in the same bed, you're like something is wrong. I don't think so. I think there are seasons in life and it's so naive to be like, just because I don't struggle with sleep doesn't mean someone else doesn't struggle. There are so many couples out there who sleep separately permanently and have an amazing relationship. I do think one should do everything they can to sleep in the same bed because that does promote connection, but it's definitely not a requirement. But yes, I'm making active efforts. I actually just ordered 2 separate blankets so that we can have separate blankets. I think that will help a lot with the motion transfer because I'm a very light sleeper. So I'm taking efforts to get back into bed, let's say. However, if it doesn't work out, like that's not the end of the world. And I think that's a very superficial metric to use on a relationship because people have so many struggles that you don't even know about. And if you've never struggled with insomnia, like, shut your mouth. People make problems for themselves when they don't sleep train early. Sue me. I do believe in sleep training, as you guys know, so I do gently agree with this. However, everyone has the right to do whatever they want. So if you don't mind waking up with your 15-month-old 3 times a night, so be it. Like, you have free will, I have free will, both of our children are alive and well, and that's it. So I'm not judging anyone. I would just say, like, if you want a solution, here would be the solution. But I'm not like out here being like, you need to sleep train. Like, dads should be treated equally to moms in regards to paternity leave. This is a really hot take. Not necessarily. That's my take, is not necessarily. I don't believe it's the government's job to pay people for having babies. Is it unfortunate that with all of the elements of society combined, women, mothers often cannot stay home? 100%. That's an issue sociologically that so many variables have come into play to make that happen. I do believe in gender roles to an extent. If the husband is out there being the breadwinner, then the wife or the mother is at home raising the children. I believe that that's an okay, good thing. If the woman is out there being the breadwinner, and the man is staying home, the man needs to raise the children. The man needs to be a stay-at-home dad. The man needs to change all the diapers and do all the housework and cook all the dinners. I definitely believe in equality of effort. That doesn't mean that the activities need to be exactly the same. It doesn't mean childcare needs to be 50-50 because that also means earning money needs to be 50-50. And that just doesn't make sense. It makes so much more sense for me and my family, one person, in this case the man, to be going out and working, the other person to be the primary caretaker and fold the laundry and cook the dinners. Like, that makes sense to me. The effort in my head is the same, and when he comes home from work, things from there are more even. So he'll do bath time, I'll do cleanup, whatever. But yeah, going back to the going back to the paternity leave, I don't necessarily think that dads should get the same time as moms because they are not the ones who birth the child. They are not usually the primary caretaker. Now, if they are, that's a different story, but I just don't think it should be equal in that sense. And this is so hypocritical because AJ literally had 8 weeks paid paternity leave, but by week 6, you guys, I was like, this is too long. This is too long. Like, it's unnatural in a sense for a masculine man to be so in the nitty-gritty of baby life. And that's a hot take. That's a hot take. I don't think it's masculine and I don't think it's healthy for men to be so like in the nitty gritty for extended periods of time. That doesn't mean they can't do the bath time routine. Don't misunderstand me. I'm talking extended periods of time. There's been a study actually where it shows something of that effect where testosterone in men decreases if they spend like more than, I think it was like 4 hours or something with their young children. More than 4 hours or something of that nature decreases testosterone. Like, that's a scientific fact. If you're a stay-at-home mom, all house responsibilities are on you since you have the time. a hard blanket statement to make. Number one, how many kids do you have? Do you have 6 children? In which case you need help, girl. Like, someone needs to help you. Number two, is your partner the provider? Is he doing his share so that you only have to worry about the house? If you also have to worry about making money, then no, that is not fair. So it's so situational. I think baby-led weaning moms are just trying to be different. It's not worth the scare, lol. I do think it is very trendy right now to be giving your baby like a full piece of fruit or like a full steak. Like, they're not really even eating anything, so like, what's the point? I haven't done any research into it. I just kind of did a mixture of like whole foods with small purees and mashables. So I don't really know, but that's funny that you said that. It doesn't always take a village. Sometimes I don't want or need the help. Ooh, must be nice to be you. Women cannot have it all. I disagree. I think if you really work hard, you can create the life that you want, of course, with God's blessing. You're allowed to be sad if it's taking longer to conceive, even if it hasn't been years yet. 100%. You can be sad about whatever you want. You don't have to ask permission to feel feelings. However, you have to be a grown-up, you have to be mature, and you can't take that out on other people. You have to like really work on yourself, feel what you want to feel, but you should go to that baby shower. You should go support your friends because you want them to support you when it is your time. And you're gonna feel silly if you do get pregnant eventually and you acted really immature to your friends. You're gonna feel silly sending them that baby shower invitation. Staying at home is a career and managing a household is purposeful work. The second statement, I agree. Managing a household is purposeful work. The first statement, I don't agree. Staying at home is a career. It's just not. It's not the same thing. It's still purposeful, meaningful work. You're doing arguably the most important job on the planet, which is raising humans, but it's not the definition of what a career is. Vaccines, but maybe you shouldn't go there, lol. I actually talked about vaccines in this postpartum Q&A, so I'll link that down below if you want to check that out. It'll be a good thing to watch after this video, but I won't repeat myself there. But yeah, those are my hot takes. I know I'll probably lose a couple followers from some of the things I said. I think specifically the masculine feminine energy can really rub people the wrong way. But the beautiful thing is that you don't have to agree with me and that we are different people and that we can still coexist in this world with different opinions. But yeah, give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. And if you want to see similar content in the future, don't forget to check out Live It Up Greens. I'll have it linked down below. Love you guys so much and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.